Hello, little G's, and welcome back to my universe. Make yourselves at home. My name is Indira, and I am here to help expand on different concepts that are out there that maybe you thought about, maybe it really hasn't crossed your mind, but it's kind of in the background of our consciousness, our society, our planet. And the topic and topics that I'm going to cover today really in regards to mental emotion and really in regards to the bigger picture here. The channel is called Astrology Untangled, but I chose that channel not just to focus on astrology as the system and the way to explain anything connected to zodiac signs, but I also viewed astrology as a star system, period. There are so many systems on planet Earth, and they are all cosmically connected. There's definitely a lot of systems out there that are no longer serving us as an individual, as a collective consciousness, humanity, and it's time to start speaking about those systems and really starting to dismantle them within ourselves. Because at the very least, the one thing that you can really have true effect on and control or change is yourself. Any system, any conditioning, any thought patterns, emotions that are keeping you prisoner, that are no longer serving you, that never have served you, but maybe you needed them at the time or thought you needed them. It is time to break away, to free yourself. And so I am here to energetically assist you and also just kind of bring to the forefront of your consciousness three main foundational key points of emotion and thought that are bringing us all down energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. It covers the whole gambit. And the three things are fear, regret, and guilt. Yeah, fear, regret, and guilt. Fear often is connected and creates anxiety. So I have noticed that there's a lot more younger people, and by younger I mean under the age of 25, that are feeling a lot of anxiety issues. And for me, really the root of anxiety is connected to fear. Aside from the physical aspect of it, if there are health problems and origins to some chemical imbalances regarding anxiety, I completely understand. But a lot of this really does stem back to fear. And in regards to how fear, regret, guilt manifests, it will absolutely start manifesting in your body. And it will create physical health problems. And it will affect you mentally, your breathing, your vision, your physical body will absolutely be affected by fear, by regret, and by guilt. So I want to break it down into those three categories and really just talk a little bit about each one. So I was meditating, and I really recommend everyone to take some time. The ideal that I have noticed, if you can create this into your schedule, is in the morning before you eat anything. So if you can maybe drink a little water, that's fine, but you don't even need to drink water, whatever you'd like to do. but no food consumption or vitamin consumption. Just do it right if you are able to do it right out of bed. So hop out of bed, take a moment to meditate. It doesn't have to be a long meditation. It all just depends on what you want to focus on. If you're focusing on intentions to create your day, that day, then, allot yourself time. But don't feel like this needs to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, anything of that nature. Really, at this point, we are needing to make things very manageable so that we can create healthy habits and create healthy patterns for ourselves to be able to cope with the maybe unhealthy patterns that we have and or stressful situations that we may encounter during our day. So let's circle back to fear, which also can lend itself to anxiety. So fear is what came through in my meditation is it really is a foundational part of our genetics. Psychologists have brought up and dubbed a part of our brain called the reptilian brain or lizard brain. And that's usually towards the forefront of our physical brain. And in general, it really is about survival. It's about making it literally through to the next day. You are physically trying to protect yourself. You are physically trying to feed yourself, shelter, everything. So really, fear is part of our genetics. Genetically, as a human species, we do have a combination of, this is the number I received, and other people have commented on this, 23 different alien species that have created a hybrid species along with, Homo sapien, Homo erectus, just all of that species that was naturally here on planet Earth. But it is absolutely a hybrid creation. So my physical vessel has 23 different DNA influences or genetic influences from different species. Your body does as well, because that is what this physical vessel, that is what the material is made up of. So we will absolutely get into another video regarding our actual DNA strands. Right now, most of us have the double helix. However, that is changing rapidly. And that is part of the age of Aquarius, living in the 5th dimension and becoming Homo illuminus. So really excited to share about that in a different video. So in regards to fear and survival, that's really what it is. Fear is often connected to, I have to fight to survive, so that can create actual tension with other people over, it could be resources, such as you were waiting in line and you have been waiting for a long time to order your food in a food court. Suddenly somebody decides to be a little annoying and disrespectful and cut in front of you, maybe not literally, but 2 people ahead of you. So now they have cut in line and you are absolutely pissed. You're annoyed that they had the audacity to not get in the back of the line because you've been waiting in line patiently to order your food. You're starving, your blood sugar has dropped, it's not going well. And so for some people, they will pick a fight. They will absolutely go approach that person and be like, not okay, and I'm willing to get physical because I'm so annoyed. So that's an example of how things perpetuate, right? If as a society, we are afraid of running out of resources, as a culture or a human, I guess, race, I don't like to use that word, but a particular ethnic culture or group, if they are in fear of being inundated, taken over, becoming extinct because there is a more dominating cultural ethnicity, then the fear is on, the fight is on, and it's time to do something about it, to eradicate, battle with this particular ethnicity that is competing against yours. So that's the primal aspect of fear, is survival. And that is something that if we can't acknowledge that within ourselves, that it is part of our system, but that we don't have to give into it every single time that we are, in essence, feel threatened, we feel afraid, and therefore we start going into either an anxious mode of, wow, this is not going to work out well, and this is not going well, it's not going to go well, or physically, I need to take this head on. This is going to be a battle because I feel threatened. I feel that my physical body is going to be harmed. That's when we lash out, etc. So by just acknowledging that we have that as a primal aspect of ourselves, and just stepping back for a moment and being okay with, yes, this is a part of my genetics, part of my, mental brain activity that kicks on when I am afraid for whatever reason, but it doesn't mean that I need to give in to the fear, to the anxiety, to the fight. I can step back for a moment and really just, on some level, disassociate. Now, I know that sounds kind of negative because usually that is a negative psychological term or diagnosis of disassociating with experiences, etc., or emotions. But really, it is about learning how to detach a little bit from our programming, even if it is a genetic programming. How do you detach from your genetic programming? You need to be able to take a breath. So breathing is huge, 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 huge. You can either breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and then out through your nose. Breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. Do belly breathing. It's so important for us to learn how to breathe, how to slow down our breathing when we're fearful and anxious, how to just breathe to be able to center ourselves. The breath is really the final frontier. It's as simple and free as it can get, but the breath is massive. I have been absolutely guided and told more than once how important the breath is. So definitely breathe when you're feeling fearful. And as you step back and you're breathing, really take a moment to analyze or just look at the situation for what it is. Is it worth getting into a physical altercation with this person in line? Because it could end up turning out to be something a lot more complicated and more time consuming, and to top it off, you still haven't eaten. So really focus on what it is that you truly want. Do you want to eat in a timely manner? Do you want to have a peaceful rest of your afternoon? Do you have time to really get into it with somebody? And in the end, the repercussions that you emotionally will feel if you do get into an altercation with somebody, because it's very draining when we physically hype ourselves up in anger, in fight, in anxiety. Then we are physically draining our earthly vessel from needed energy that it could be used for something else in your day. So just keep that in mind. Just take a moment, step back, do some light breathing, slow down your breath, really analyze the situation. Do I have time and energy to do this? Is this worth it? Is this even going to be successful? And then really decide based on that. because a huge part of our human issue is impulsiveness. We are very quick to jump into things. I can absolutely empathize with that. So let's curb our impulsivity a little bit and just try to not give in to the fear. And as we slowly break away from all of these systems, emotions, genetic dispositions, we will absolutely break ourselves from going there to begin with. It will not be a default mechanism. We will not be reacting. And that is so important for us to be able to truly have inner peace consistently. So moving on to regret. Oh, regret. I regret a lot of things in life. I do. If I could do it all over again, I absolutely would do things differently. However, I also, and all of us, it is not healthy to stand and in that regret and stand in that emotion of regretting maybe major decisions in our lives. Some of us regret a lot of little things. Some of us don't regret anything, and that is beautiful. For myself, there are some major decisions that I regret making because I lost a lot of time, energy, money. I made people that care about me suffer, and it is a very selfish thing at times to make poor decisions, and I regret a lot of those poor decisions. However, the past is the past. Even though time is not real, time is not linear, it is a circle. It is really a matter of stepping away from that regret so that you don't carry that regret energetically with you lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Because remember, even though this earthly vessel will die at some point, your soul, your essence will continue into a new vessel, a new experience. But there is energetic imprints that get left, especially when you have really, really strong emotions like regret. I distinctly remember a Hawaiian lifetime. This was a long, long time ago, and I was in a leadership position, and I felt very responsible for the safety of the people in my tribe. And there was a physical hurricane, a storm. It was pretty brutal. A lot of people passed away. Resources were lost. In essence, more people would die due to the natural disaster. And as a leader of the community, I felt personally responsible for their safety and the fact that it did not go well. And more people did pass because I felt I wasn't prepared enough, because I didn't do the right action to prevent further death. I really, really took that on, and I deeply regretted my lack of action, etc. in that lifetime. So that came through in a healing session with a previous friend of mine that specializes in healing, and that came through psychically to her, and I definitely felt those heavy feelings even before I had the healing session. So those heavy feelings of regret, remorse, shame are all connected. And for it to be in this lifetime, which is not the same lifetime, but it's still affecting me energetically and emotionally, because absolutely I shed tears in this vessel in this lifetime for that situation. And it is something that I did not need to carry. That burden was not mine to continue carrying lifetime after lifetime. So, speaking from personal experience, you will absolutely free yourself energetically by letting go of all regrets that you have. It is absolutely beautiful and right to make amends if you have slighted a person, offended, disrespected, etc., really maybe hurt somebody in either a physical way, emotional, financial, etc., to make amends and to apologize and to release some of that regret or shame energy. If you choose not to, that is okay too. It is your choice how things will play out in this life. It is just so important to make sure that you don't create a prison by yourself, for yourself, and you throw away the key, because that's eventually what regret, shame, remorse can become if you don't let it go and forgive yourself. That is one of the key things to be able to release yourself from regret, remorse, shame, is to forgive yourself. Acknowledge, I am flawed, I made poor choices. If I could do it again, I would redo it in a better, positive way. And to let go of that situation, emotion once and for all. Because one of the highest vibrations is inner peace, neutrality. The way to enlightenment is those building blocks of inner peace, neutrality, feeling joy. And if we're constantly feeling regret and shame, it's very difficult to feel joy on a consistent basis. Moving on to the final one, which would be guilt. Guilt. Feeling guilty, very similar to regret, but feeling guilty could go very, very, very deep, because it could be an opportunity missed. And it could be also a matter of life and death. Sometimes we are in situations where we physically could have saved somebody's life. Either it be a family member, either it be a perfect stranger that got into a terrible car accident and we just decided to keep on going. We may even have caused the car accident. I have an uncle who was a victim of a road rage hit and run situation, and it was absolutely physically devastating for multiple people involved in that car accident. So to take that on of feeling guilty for the rest of your life, we are not supposed to be our own, I guess, warden of a prison, right? The wardens, they make sure that you are punished when you need to, that you are kept in check and kept in your jail cell. And that is not our purpose, to constantly punish ourselves and feel guilty for all the mistakes we have made. We can make a lot of mistakes, little mistakes, really big mistakes, life-changing mistakes, but to feel guilty about them all the time is not serving anyone. It doesn't serve you, because you're not moving forward and creating a improved life, making better decisions that won't have you in that energy of feeling guilty. If a guilt is around a certain subject, let's say financially, let's say sexually, let's say the loaded word of sin, I have sinned, for the religious people out there, feeling guilt all the time for that one incident or that one situation, or maybe a habit that you have. It's important to feel some remorse, of course, if you decide you want to change that habit, that situation, but to feel guilty all the time just weighs you down. It weighs you down to the point where you may not ever really change, or may not ever make amends and really make a shift within your life, so that you are no longer in those situations where you're going to feel massive guilt. So it's about us not getting stuck. We have a lot of patterns, a lot of indoctrination, a lot of programming, as just individuals. We don't even need to get into politics and religion. We do it to ourselves, and it's through these foundational emotions and thought patterns and genetics even of fear, regret, and guilt that can keep us prisoners and will continue lifetime after lifetime if we do not let them go and forgive ourselves. In the description box below, I have provided 3 different links for dealing with fear, regret, and guilt. So feel free to check those out. They are tips to really kind of think about, analyze. And in regards to regret, I do want to bring up cognitive behavioral therapy. There's some key points. It helps break ongoing negative patterns, and it helps to reshape negative thoughts and feelings. So cognitive behavioral therapy, if you choose to go the therapeutic professional route, that is a particular therapy that you could seek out, that a therapist would promote themselves as a cognitive behavioral therapist. So aside from going to therapy, meditation absolutely helps because you are able to go within, quiet your mind, and just focus on one thing. If you want to focus on one thing that you feel guilty about in the morning or even at night, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but I've noticed energetic changes between starting your day off with it and before you eat anything. It's super clear. Your mind is, even though you may be still a little sleepy, you don't have all the chemicals going as you're having to digest food and, drive or do whatever you're going to do for your day. So, but at night, if you are more of a night person and you have quiet time and alone time at night, nighttime is great to do meditation. But the key thing is to be able to do some deep, slow breathing, go within, and just focus on one thing, whatever it is. It could be therapeutic, like dealing with some guilt, some regret, some fear, or it could be about manifesting something really positive. I like to couple them both. I am focusing on something I feel really guilty about, something that I have made a mistake. And then from there, think about how I'm going to not continue that pattern if it is a pattern, or not make that mistake again, or just really acknowledge things within myself of, hey, I see how I reacted. I see that it didn't really work out for me. I see that I am still feeling some type of way for whatever I did or experienced, because obviously sometimes you go into an interaction with someone, a group of people, and you end up feeling some shame, some regret or fear, etc. So really looking at the situation for what it is and being able to move past, because it's so important to not be dragging all of these heavy emotions and situations with us. It is not serving us. This is not the time. We are in the age of Aquarius. It is time to lighten the load and forgive ourselves. Forgive ourselves, forgive others, but if you can't forgive others, then just forgive yourself. So with that, I hope this has served you in some way. I am so grateful that you tuned into this channel and are here with me on this planet Earth at this amazing time of transformation. I love you, little G's, so much, and I am grateful for you and this experience. Till next time.